Battle of the Atlantic by Jay. Why did I choose the Battle of the Atlantic? I chose the Battle of the Atlantic because Canada played a big part in the battle, delivering supplies to Britain, because otherwise Germany would have brought Britain to his knees and would have won the war. And my grandfather was in it. He sailed on the HMCS Lausanne, which was a river-class frigate. He was a radar, so he had to detect the enemy ships, the torpedoes, and like anything that could be a threat on the surface of the water. The HMCS Lausanne was an escort for convoys, meaning they had to protect the convoys delivering supplies to Britain. He also faked his age to get in. How did the Battle of the Atlantic start? The Battle of the Atlantic was a major struggle for the seas. It was the longest battle of World War II, lasting almost the whole length of the war. It started mainly because the Germans torpedoed the British passenger ship SS Athenia, marking the start of the battle, as this was an act of pure naval aggression. Many innocent lives were lost that day. Germany also thought that if they could conquer the Atlantic, they could cut off the supply chain from Canada to Britain, making victory possible. The effect on Canada. The Battle of the Atlantic brought the war to Canada's doorstep. 5,000 Navy personnel and Air Force members combined gave their lives to the war.
Wow.
Despite this, only 21 of Canada's 341 ships were lost. Battle of the Atlantic timeline. So, 1939, the SS Athenia was torpedoed by the Germans, marking the start of the war. In 1942, the German U-boats were dominating the seas, having already sunk 2,000 merchant ships, which gave the Atlantic the nickname the Black Pit. Germans with the success in the middle of the ocean, they got bolder, and they entered the Gulf of St. Lawrence and sunk 21 ships. In 1943, British technology advanced rapidly, making long-range planes possible and could escort convoys farther. They also developed anti-sub ships, which started hunting the U-boats. In 1945, the HMCS Esquimalt was torpedoed by U-190, but 3 weeks later, the U-190 surrendered to the Canadians, marking the end of the Battle of the Atlantic.
Okay. Uh, Jay, can I interrupt you for a second? There is a question uh, from in the chat asking what U-boats are.
So they were basically German submarines. They were really dominating the battle at the start of the war in 1942. But as British technology advanced, they didn't become as much as a threat. So
That's awesome. Thank you, Jay. And I believe Carol is doing a presentation that's focused on the U-boats. Is that right, Carol?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So stay tuned. You're gonna learn a lot more details about the U-boats. That's great. Over to you, Jay.
no, I'm done. That's it.
Oh, that's it. Oh, that's awesome. And
That's
I'm so impressed that your grandpa was serving in the Canadian Army.
He joined a little bit later because he joined in 1944 when technology was good enough to the radars, so they could detect tracking. They could track the U-boats and all that. So
Nice.
because
How
in the early times, since the U-boats were submerged in the water, it was kind of hard to see them. But now that they had tracking technology toward the end of the war, they didn't really need to look for them. They could just see them on the radar, which is what my grandpa did.
Thank you so much, Jay, for sharing with us. We should all pay huge respect to Jay's grandpa. So the soldiers, they fought the war with their um, some of them even with their life, against the Axis power, for the peace of the world, for the benefit of the civilians, right? So, um, high respect to Jay's grandpa. Thank you, Jay. This is a wonderful presentation.
Thank you.